to zoom in on you. Okay, listen, boys. Fee is at school right now. Lindsay came over. We were gonna go to E3, but you might have seen in the video yesterday we're not having a good time at E3.
Bueno.
And you know what? E3 might have been 50% better if they had just turned the AC on. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Would you like to show your new tattoo?
Yeah, sure.
Look at it. It's got the bandage on it. We got Homura from Honoka. Why did I say Homura? Honoka
from Love Live.
Which is your favorite waifu
My favorite
ever.
waifu, my best girl.
Who's this by again?
He goes by Goretaku on Instagram. His name is Jordan Lagore. He tattoos in Tarzana. He's so sweet. He was great.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Would recommend to others.
Color's gonna happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Lindsay, what are we doing today?
We're gonna talk about some LARPing.
Yeah, dude, you guys have been asking for it. We're gonna do just like a mukbang and just kind of talk about what LARP was like.
Yeah, your first experience. This is my second game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Do you want to order food? Are you hungry?
I'm starving.
You're starving? Where do you want to order from?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Get them burritos.
Ooh, we got some burritos. Okay, so we got these burritos from a place called Cactus Taqueria No. 1. It's on Vine Street. Oh my god, dude. It's the best burritos you'll ever have in your damn life.
I'm very excited.
But the place you buy them from is like a tiny little shack. It like, not even a place you can walk into. Like, it's sketchy as hell, but it is. It's so sketchy and it's like cash only. But dude, the most... Ooh. Yes. Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm ready.
You
got
ready?
Some chips and guac.
I guess you can't really see the food, but whatever, the burritos, so we'll hold them.
You're just gonna watch me eat a burrito. It's gonna be so excellent.
It's gonna be excellent.
Welcome to Lindsay shoving a burrito in her face at full speed.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Okay, can you scoot closer to me, my boy?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, we are starving right now, so we're gonna talk about LARP. Where do we even begin? I have to get this to face you a little bit more.
Well, I think we should begin by... Kelly, how did you like it?
I loved it! It was like literally the happiest I had ever been in, like, I can't even remember the last time. Like, so... Like, it was such an exhilarating, emotional, like, adventurous trip, you know?
Mm-hmm. I always tell people, like, before they go, like, go into it knowing you're gonna do things that, like, you never thought you were gonna ever do. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know I was gonna launch myself over a table this time to shoot someone with an arrow. Why would I ever do that in my daily life? But I did it, and it was fucking awesome.
Should we start by talking about our characters?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start? Mm-hmm. Okay. So in the game that we play, it's called Twin Mask. Elves are called Offendal, and the term elf or elves or whatever is no
racist.
Good. Racist. Do not say. So I play an Offendal character named Varka, and she is pretty gruff, but she's like very loyal, and she definitely has like a soft inside. But she is, she's a stealth sniper assassin. So I dress in all black. I don't look anything or like at all like this. I have like jet black hair, all black. People literally call me goth elf. And that's her. She's pretty quiet.
She's rough and tough. Can I have some of this, by the way?
Of course.
Cool, thank you.
She's a pretty, like, she's a tough cookie, but she's definitely warming up to people the more I play, simply because, like, there's other Offendal characters that she's getting to know, and she is oathbound to 2 other characters. My friend Lauren plays a character named Vin, and my friend Jessie plays a character named Messia. And part of our backstory is that we, like, literally, like, I guess, like, the best way to put it is, like, kind of like a spy ring, but, like, we basically sabotaged, like, human cultural, like, artifacts.
Is that what you did last time?
Like, in-game?
I know you guys did something naughty last time.
Oh, no. We may or may not have kind of unintentionally put a hit out on someone by an assassin named the Weasel. And we were paid really, really good for it. So we me and Vin and Asia accidentally got really rich.
Now I understand.
And she was a noble, like a very high ranking noble. So like if she died, like people would be like noticing.
So also in the game, there's several different races. There's like demons, celestials, elves / Offendle. I'm gonna continue to refer to them as Offendle. Humans, half fae. Mm-hmm. In this world, like humans pretty much. Like, there's a long history in the game of humans basically trying to eradicate all other races, especially the Offendle. Mm-hmm. So there's not many of us, and it's kind of dangerous to be an Offendle in the game.
Yeah, there's a religion in the game called the Church of Chorus, and, like, they play into this whole history of, like, a group called the Amalgamation that basically purged the world of any non-human race. So, like, in the game, like, there are different plot lines that happen where, like, the Church of Chorus or the Ardent Chorus will come through and they will start, like, trying to execute non-human characters. And I have been, like, literally, like, followed before.
Yep.
Like, for being Offendle and, like, you better have a hood on because you can cover your ears.
Yeah.
They call you knife ear.
We call them round ear.
And we will call you a round ear, humans.
So, my character's name is Leola, and she's a prophetic dreamer. And, also in the game, oh my god, you're brought back to life, basically.
Yeah.
Your character's history is you died at some point with something that really emotional or traumatic happened to you. And when you start the game, that's you being brought back to life.
Well, should I say how I died?
Yeah.
As part of my character?
Do,
okay.
Yeah.
So, Varka died because, so part of her history is that she always wanted to learn magic, but she was, like, raised in a tribe of Offendle that was an assassin tribe, and, like, magic, they kind of saw it as, like, cheating. And so she never was encouraged to learn magic, but she had the capacity to. So she kind of, like, taught herself, and she was, like, really bad at it. And so she was trying to save her friend Asia from, like, being captured by humans. And she was like, hey, I got this, don't worry. And she did a blood magic spell that went horribly wrong. She got the ratios wrong, and she literally blew herself up into a billion pieces.
Beautiful.
So that's how I died.
My character doesn't remember how she died. Basically, you can take a trait. You can take a trait called fractured memory, which is where, like, when you first wake up from the dead, you kind of, like, your memory's kind of clouded, you don't remember certain things, and that gives new players an opportunity to kind of fill in the blanks of their history. The more they play the game and the more they can kind of, like...
It's very useful.
Yeah, so mine has fractured memory, but she, her history was that she was kind of captured during the beginning of the purges when the humans started eradicating the Offendles, and she was kind of, like, kept as, like, a trophy for the Dacians, who are very, like, Rococo, like, very fancy.
Over the top, they all wear, like, Venetian masks, like, very opulent, like, people.
Pretty much anything is legal to the Dacians as long as it's beautiful. So you could murder someone and get away with it, but if you did it in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you know our characters, Leola, Varka. Varka does archery, Leola does magic.
Yeah, I did archery. This is my first game I tried archery in. I have a friend. My friend Jamie plays a character named Moira, and she's a ranger, essentially. If you're, like, familiar with, like, D&D kind of, like, classes and terms, like, she's basically, like, Legolas, but not an elf. She's a really cool character, but she did archery. She's been doing archery since the beginning, and I saw her last game, my first game, do it, and I was like, fuck. This looks like so much fun, and she's really good at it. Like, she, like, rips these shots off that are, like, insanely accurate. And so I was like, oh, I gotta try it. So I tried it this time, and I loved it. It was so fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it next game, too, because it looks like
so much fun. It was
so
much fun. I had such a blast doing archery. Like,
what do we talk about now? Like, where do we go from here? Like, do we talk about our favorite stories?
Well, I think let's share, like, our favorite moment from this past game.
You want to go first? I think okay, so see this mirror right here? if I point it away, it brightens up. So you need to like literally scoot closer to me.
Your chairs are so large.
I know. They're big boys.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. I had 2 favorite moments this game. One of them being I think one of my definite favorite moments. So basically how this game kind of works is it happens over the course of 2 nights, and you play into like literally 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and the big boss battles like happening on like Saturday night, and we were actually having to fight
Saturday morning, technically.
Saturday morning. No, Sunday morning, technically.
Sunday morning at like 4 a.m.
It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, where we literally had to fight our friends. Like, our friends and our allies had been like sucked into a portal, and like basically clones had been made of them and like tossed back at us to fight. And I shot the lieutenant governor of the town that we technically all live in right in the heart, like, because I was fighting him, and you just hear him go, "Good shot!" into the darkness. It was so funny, and it was like just a nice boon. I was like, oh, okay. Then I got a little cocky though, and I definitely hit someone directly in the head, which is
I saw that.
no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm good at this. Ooh, oh shit. So that was I think that was like probably my favorite moment, like as a player, as a character. I think my favorite moment was sitting in the garlic.
Really?
I loved sitting in the garlic, and I loved all the people that came and visited us. A friend of ours in the game named Joe, their character Caligar, they brought like this incredible like lotus bell tent.
So have you guys seen the it was like a Kickstarter from Australia. It's a blow up tent that's in the shape of a garlic, and like,
yeah, they're called lotus bell. They're freaking beautiful. Like, but Joe and our friend Lauren, they like decorated the entire inside of it as this like fancy offendal, like charcuterie, like parlor thing. It was awesome. We like just hung out in there, and it was like really, really cool. And we drank offendal wine, and
there were like lanterns hung everywhere inside the tent, and there were like pillows we sat on and a table in the middle with this like beautiful, like, not a candelabra, but like one of those, you know, candle holders that was made out of like a branches. And we all kind of sat in there, and we were eating like cheese and berries and like a honeycomb that we put on bread, and we were just kind of like
awesome.
And then one of my favorite parts was Fenbros. So Fenbros is like this big, tall, buff, manly man with like long hair. Like he looks like Khal Drogo.
So much.
Yeah, I love him so much. But he's like an older Offendal, like kind of like part of like a more wild. What would you call it?
Well, like definitely like his character's like more of like an old ways thing.
Yeah, old ways.
You know, like he's been dead for much longer than we had been dead for. So like
he's like does not like humans at all. But our friend Lauren, who plays this character named Vin, is like a researcher of humans. So she wears glasses and she like loves to research humans.
Yeah,
and
she's like a scholar.
So she was like trying to get Fembros to eat a piece of cheese, and he was like, "No, that's human old milk. That's disgusting. I'm not eating that." And they just had this like bickering back and forth of
it was hilarious.
"Try it. It's good. Just try it. Put it in your mouth." You know?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like we are very lucky. We have such like a diverse cast of characters that we hung out with. So,
my favorite moment. Do you remember when we were smuggled into the pirate camp?
Oh yeah,
That was my favorite moment. So, what was the church called?
The Church of Chorus.
So the Church of Chorus came into court one day, and like as soon as they show up, we're like, "Oh shit!"
No, that wasn't the Church of Chorus. That was a group of workers from a different like country, I believe, that their jobs had been taken from them by Offendal. So they were pissed, and they were like, "We are here to like get revenge on the Offendal."
Okay. No,
same concept.
Right. Same thing. So when they showed up to court, all the Offendal were like kind of on their toes, like, okay, what's going to happen? They're for sure going to attack, but we don't know when. So the Offendals were standing in the back of court, kind of just like keeping to themselves and like kind of keeping an eye out. Fenbros, the guy I told you about earlier, who's basically like Khal Drogo, was like, "You guys stay put. I'm going to like, I'll be right back. I'm going to find a safe place for us to go." So we're sitting there for like 10 minutes. He comes rushing back. He's like, "Okay, we're gonna. The pirates are gonna smuggle us into their camp. Let's go." So the 12 of us like follow him, and we go all the way up into this mountain where the pirates are camping out. So there's 2 pirates, and they're just the best characters ever. So there's Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Grubbs. How would you even explain them? Like,
they're two of my really good, like, real-life friends. I've known them for a really long time, but, like, they're just, like, I call them they're, like, pirate dads. Mm-hmm. They're just the sweetest people, but they are, like, literal real-life pirates. Like, they live, like, real-life pirate aesthetic, like, all the time. And they're just, like, they're so jolly, and, like, they just, like, want to, like, drink and have a good time, and, like...
They both got a big beard.
Yeah. And, like, they literally are just, like, pirates, we don't care who you are, what race you are, we don't care, like, where you come from. Nothing matters on the ocean. Like, that's, like, kind of their, like, lifestyle, and they're so great. So they smuggled us into their camp.
Yeah. So, like, their camp was, like, these big canvas tarps and, like, you know, anchors and treasure chests and, like, fish hooks and just, like, rope and, like, all this stuff that, like, really made it feel real. And Wiggles and Grubs were, like, very real pirates. Like, there's dirt smudged all over them. They have these big hats with,
they could be real life pirates.
Yeah.
Like,
their guts hanging out of their, like, shirt and stuff.
They're so great.
So we sneak into camp, like, they bring us in, and we're kind of, like, crouching down, because if we stand up too high, they can see our ears popping out above the tarps. So we're, like, all crouching down, the 12 of us, and we're being really, really quiet. Like, it's dead quiet. And, like, we can hear a fight break out. Mm-hmm. So we all kind of, like, look at each other, and, like, our hearts are starting to beat, and everyone's kind of, like, trying to keep their breath steady. And, like, the fear that we felt was real, because at any minute, like, 40 of these humans could have attacked us, and the 12 of us would have been dead.
Yeah, there was a big group of them.
So, like, we're waiting, and, like, there's times where we're just, like, exchanging glances, and, like, it seems like the fight is getting closer. Like, there's screaming, and there's yelling, and then, like, all of us are, like, readying our bows or our spells or our swords, and we're just kind of, like, waiting and waiting and waiting. And even, like, the pirates, like, Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Grubbs looked so worried. Like, it just, the fear and the tension and the risk, like, felt so real. Mm. And then I remember at the end of it, Fenbros came back and, like, just, like, swooped into the tent and was like, well, they couldn't find us, so they started fighting each other.
It was such a good moment. Like, there were so many good moments like that over the weekend. Like, that's why I love this game so much, is this is, like, a really immersive LARP. Mm. They really, 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 really encourage, like, a full immersion. Yeah. That being said, like, the site that we played on is not the usual site that we play on. We play on 2 different sites, and the reason we played where we did, which was, like, basically
a Ren Fair.
A Boy Scout camp.
Oh, where we were now?
Yeah.
That's a Boy Scout camp?
That was a Boy Scout camp. But we usually play at the Cronenberg Renaissance Fairgrounds, which are not the big famous, like, LA Irwindale Ren Fair. It's a much smaller one, but it's all permanent structure, so it literally feels that you're walking through a town in a city. It is, honestly, it's so hard to break immersion there, and it's really amazing. And there's, like, a graveyard you can play in. There's, like, a harbor area with, like a river and, like, sandy beach. Like, my first game, I went on, like a mod, which a mod is what they call, like a side quest. I went on a mod where we had to, like, fight a pirate ghost and dig for treasure in the sand. Like, it was so awesome. I went with the pirates. They're like, oh, come on, Varco, there's gonna be money. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I love money. So, I need money to buy blood magic, which you're not really supposed to talk about.
Well, Lindsay and I learned blood magic in the Onion tent last time.
Yeah, our friend Caligar, he actually, what's one of the cool things about this game is you can learn skills from other people, and he gave us the background on blood magic and everything, and so we actually were able to acquire the lore of blood magic skills, so that will now let us learn the first circle of blood magic next game from him. Very excited! Yeah, Vargo's a freak like that. She's gotta get into that blood magic, you know?
One of my other favorite memories was, there were these... You all right, dude? You need me to save you? You got it? You're good.
Got a napkin?
No, you're good. There's nothing. There's, like, 2 dots. What? Yeah, you're fine.
All right. I trust you.
One of my other favorite moments was, remember, like, it was the second night, and there were these swarms of demon armies coming through.
So cool.
And we knew there was going to be a final wave of, like, a huge battle. So there was the knight from the Nadine Empire, the one with the suit of armor with the ponytail, who was kind of, like, acting as, like, active captain.
Oh, yes. He has, like, the plate mail armor. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So he was setting us up, like, all the archers were, like, on this stone wall with the magic users, so I was standing next to Lindsay, and we're all just kind of getting ready for battle. And then, like, all the other, like, hand-to-hand combat people are on the ground, and, like, even Fee whose name in the game is Pippin, like went out like put herself way in the front.
Fee did a great job this game. I was like, she ran into every fight.
Yeah,
like,
she did.
Fucking sword out. Like, I was like, oh.
So in the game, Fee is oathbound to me, but my character doesn't know. Because we got brought back to life together, and she, like, protects me. Mm-hmm. But she has, like, a reason, but she won't tell me yet. So it's part of my character development.
It's really cool.
But it was just, like, a cool moment of, like, that silence, like, under the starry sky in this forest, and, like, the wind blowing in her hair, that really felt real. Like, we're just waiting for this war to come to us.
It was so beautiful. Like, I will say, like, I think the thing that, like, I tell people about LARP is that, like, I'm very new to it still. Like, I've only gone 2 games, but, like, there is something so cathartic about, like, disassociating for a few days, but disassociating on your terms. Like, I know that, like, a lot of people deal with, like, actual disassociation as, like, a mental illness or, like, part of a mental illness, which I've definitely, like, dealt with before, like, when I have panic attacks or anxiety attacks, but, like, doing it on your own terms, like, knowing that you are this character and, like, that is who you're going to live your life as for the next, like, 2.5 days is such a cathartic, beautiful experience. Like, you can really feel like someone else. Like, Varka is totally different than who I am as a person. She's been through completely different experiences, but being able to, like, share my head with her is, like, I literally, like, a few days before LARP, like, I kept thinking, I was like, I can't wait to see her again. Because, like, she's, like, a friend now. Like, can't wait to see Varka again. Because I can't wait to, like, look in the mirror and, like, see myself as her and, like, her as me. So, it's a really... I think it's, like, one of the most positive things you can do for your mental health. Like, to be honest.
I actually, I don't know if I told you, but I saw my therapist, like, right before we got in the car to drive to the campsite. And I was telling her all about the LARP and what I was looking forward to it. And I told her, like, I'm so excited to have a weekend, like, a full 3 days where I'm not Kelly Eden. And Kelly Eden doesn't exist. Like, I don't have an alcoholic father. I don't have money problems. I don't have internet fame to worry about. I'm just this Offendal girl named Leola, you know? And, like, it really felt like that. Like, I could even feel it in my head as we pulled up to the campsite. It was like I went into my head and saw, like, 2 switch panels. And it's like I turned off Kelly Eden and then flipped on Leola for the first time. And that's just who I was.
It is such a cool experience to go through. Like, there's so many LARPs, like, across the country that you can join. Twin Masks, sadly, is only a Southern California LARP, but there's lots of LARPs that have, like, multiple, like, chapters throughout different states. And, like, I've had, like, a few of my friends that I used to live in Atlanta. A lot of my Georgia friends have been like, where's, like, a LARP in, like, Atlanta I can join? And, like, I mean, it's just, like, it's a really encouraging and beautiful community of people, too, because, like, you have this, like, moment on Sunday morning when you're done RPing and, like, role-playing with people that you get to, like, talk to them as themselves, and you're like, wait, I just had a completely different experience with you. Like our friend Ian, who plays Fenbros.
I was
like,
just thinking about Fenbros.
You know, he's, like, one of the best examples I can think of is, like, we have great, like, RP, great role-play between each other, and, like, but he's, like, a good friend, and, like, he's just a great guy, and it's just, like, it's so weird, like, on Sunday morning when I'm, like, saying goodbye and, like, packing up, and it's, like, we just, like, fought a whole, like, army of, like, demons together this weekend, and, like, it's such a cool, like, thing to experience. I can't say enough good things about it.
I want to talk about Fenbros a little bit more, just because, like, this was another therapeutic moment, not only for my character, but for me. Because I've talked a lot about how I personally struggle with male energy, especially if they're super masculine. And Fenbros, like, is, like, the epitome of masculinity. He's tall, he's buff, like, he's got a beard, and he's very, like, tough. And it was, like, during the battle, he was protecting me. And there were times where, like, after, like, we would defeat them, he would come find me and be like, Leola, are you hurt? Do you need healing? And then I'd be like, yeah, I need, like, 2 healing. And he would hold my hand and be like, healing 1, healing 2. And it was just, like, he saw me as an equal, even though he knew that, like, I didn't have as much, like, even, like, in-game power as him. And he was, like, looking out for me, and it wasn't even... It was just because, like, we were both Offendal, and it wasn't, like, any sort of romantic interest. It wasn't because, you know, for no other reason other than we had, like, a fellowship.
It is absolutely that, especially, like, the Offendal, I think, band together a lot more because of the experiences they've had, like... generally, like, as a people, like, and how horrible that their lives kind of became. And I actually ended up playing, so Varka is a lesbian, and I decided to play her that way because I know personally myself, like, I don't do well around male strangers. I never have, never will, like, I just have, like, a social anxiety around it, and so, like, I knew if I played her as a lesbian, it would take the pressure off of me as a player not to have to interact, like, on a romantic level with, like, male characters. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but, like, you know, it was, like, a preemptive, like, protective thing for me, and I was, like, so genuinely surprised and, like, my heart was warmed, like, knowing when I got there that everyone I met, male, female, whatever you identify as, every single person was very, like, concerned about their fellow player, and, like, they wanted everyone to have a good experience. And, like, if you aren't having a good experience, you are completely within your rights as a player to ask someone, why did you do that? Or can you, like, elaborate on that? Like, I'm not sure if, like, this is, like, a player boundary or a character boundary. Like, and, like, they're very big on consent at this game, which is really, really nice.
I love that part. So, like, anytime in the LARP, if you want to touch somebody, even if it's, like, a hand on the shoulder, you go out of character, which is you just put your hand on your head like this, and you say, consent to physical role play, and they'll say either yes or no. So if they say yes, then it can be like, Barca, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So, like, even just a touch, like, even the way that offendals, like, greet each other, we don't shake hands, we do this.
Yeah. It's a really, like, positive environment to play in. And, like, I've never, like, came out of character at the end of the night or anything to go to bed and been like, wow, I had, like, a really bad experience at some point. Like, I may have had, like, experiences that, like, maybe didn't jive with me very well, but it was, like, so overwhelmingly positive that it's not that big of something, like, I carried with me, like, to the next day, you know? Oh, and then our NPC shift.
Oh my god! Okay, first I think you need to explain, like, what... Scoot up a little bit. So, I think you need to explain to them, like, what is an NPC, what is an NPC shift, and why do we do it?
Okay, so an NPC is a non-playable character or non-player character, and so when, for instance, when we are, like, gonna fight some fire demons, the fire demons that we are fighting are other players that are on what they call the NPC shift. And you go for 4 hours in this game, you serve an NPC shift, and you're basically assigned different characters or tasks or enemies to play. And for the next 4 hours, you get to be the people that your friend and, like, the other, like, PCs, player characters get to beat up.
So Lindsay and I took the 8 a.m. shift, and
I like getting over with, so.
The first night of LARP, I had a hard time just because, like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't quite understand how the game mechanics worked.
Yeah, first night's hard.
Yeah, but the second day we did our NPC shift, and I got a first-hand experience of how battle worked, how NPCs worked, and just, like,
yeah,
made me more confident. So, like,
it's the best way to learn the game is, like, by being beat up and killed a whole bunch as, like, an imp, like, that has 3 hit points.
Yeah.
It's the best way to learn the game.
So what will happen is, like, the mods there's, like, a dressing room full of costumes, and you come dressed in all black, and so they'll say, okay, this time you're going to be the Assassin's Newsletter delivery guys.
Oh, they have a newsletter called The Assassin, and we got to deliver it.
I think this was one of our favorite moments.
It was one of my favorite moments of the game, for sure.
Do you want to explain, like, what... First of all, the Assassin's Newsletter is, like, the gossiping, like, paper
it's kind of like our tabloid in a way. Like, there's, like, a rumor page, but it's called The Assassin, and your mission is to deliver it as sneakily but as horribly as possible. So, like, literally it was, like, explained to us by one of our, like, fellow players. It's like, think about if a high school Naruto anime weeb was trying to deliver this. So you're, like, running around, like, like, arms out, like, and then you, like, pop up behind you, you're like, assassin. So
assassin,
to copper.
You think you're, like, the coolest assassin ever, but you're really
not.
just delivering this, like, shitty, like, tabloid. So, like, there were 5 of us as assassins, and we just had, like, these really shitty, like, black cloaks.
Like,
so, like, Lindsay and I went down together, and we ran down this hill, like, to the back of this tree,
so funny.
and then we both, like, popped out on either side. It just kept screaming, assassin!
It was so fun. That was...
Tell them how you shin kicked that guy.
Oh, I just had to shin kick a guy and run away. And then, I popped up, I was like, assassin! And this guy drew a knife on me. And I was like, assassin? Assassin? I was like, assassin 2 copper? And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll take one. And then our friend Corin, one of the bards in the game, tried to get away without paying for it. And I was like, no, bro. Assassin, 2 copper, money first, then read.
And he was like, I just want to see it first before I buy.
I was like, money first, then read.
And he was like, no, I just want to see if it's good first. And she was like, shin kick, assassin!
That was definitely one of my favorite parts of the game this time. It was so fun.
When I was the assassin, after I finished delivering all my newsletters, I ran out into the middle of the field in the middle of court, took both sides of my cape and just like covered myself and was like, disappear!
Oh my god, it's so fun to be able to play like other characters that like there's no like stakes involved.
Wait, we need to tell them when we were peasant women, remember?
Oh, about Paul?
Okay, so the mod was like, okay, you guys are peasant women and you guys went to buy vegetables in the market and you were attacked by imps and your friend is missing. I was like, friend, you mean my husband. Okay. My NPC name was Winnie and you were Val.
Yes.
So we went screaming into court. We were like, help, help, like totally selling it, like on the verge of tears.
Well, they're doing the date auction at the time. There was a date auction happening in town. Yeah.
So like...
To benefit the hospital, the town hospital and the orphans.
Yeah. And so like all the bards and all the knights are like, what happened? Tell us what happened. And we're trying to give them gold to like, we're like, oh, like we were attacked by imps. Like my husband didn't make it. Can you please help? And they're like, so noble. Keep your money. Where are they?
One guy really wanted the money though. He kept being like, yeah, I'll take the money. And I was like, son. So like all these knights like went dashing off like 100 yards that way. Yeah, we were pretty far.
Where the imps were waiting and they had to fight the imps. So I was about to go back and like find out what happened, but all of a sudden Lindsay gets a spell casted on her by one. Who did this to you?
Well, I can't metagame too much, but there was a particular player that decided to cast a like type of trance spell on me, and it was like scary. I've actually. Again, this is a good learning experience because I never had a spell like this cast on me as like as Varka, as a player character. So having this spell cast on me, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And I literally had to go into a trance and like walk into battle.
So Lindsay's just like stale face, like completely like no motion, and just started walking as straight as possible into the battlefield. And so my character didn't see exactly what happened, so I'm freaking out. I'm like, Val, what's going on? Can you hear me? Val, help? There's something wrong with my friend. Just like all this shit was going on, and I followed you all the way into the battle. You come to a stop. They'd already finished fighting off the imps. And then one of the knights was like, ladies, you really don't want to see what happened out here. Like, you should go back. And I was like, Paul, where's Paul?
Like, the role play that you did, weeping over this dummy body.
Then, like, one of the knights is, like, holding this shitty dummy with blood all over him, like, marriage style, or wedding style, like, holding him, like, looking really sad, and just, like, lays him against the tree, and I'm, like, devastated. I'm like, oh, Paul, what have they done to you? And I throw myself onto this dummy, and I'm, like, crying.
And then the purest boy, Gaius. There's a character named Gaius, and he's the purest boy. And he just comes up and he, like, gives her, like, this, like, beautiful, like, wisdom about moving on, about how everything's gonna be okay. And I was just like, oh my god.
It was actually really nice to hear. He placed his hand onto my hand that was on the dummy's hand. And he said something like, every dawn has a new day, and the sun will rise, and you will rise with it. And I was just like, so pure.
So pure. It was a very good mod. That was a very fun one. A lot of people like came to me and told me they had a lot of fun doing that one. So I was pretty stoked. But yeah, we got hit a whole bunch.
We got hit.
You know, I only went to bleed out 2 times this game.
Really?
You didn't go into bleed out at all.
Because, okay, we were in one of the battles, and like it was a big battle with the demons. And it was you, me, and Fenros. Yeah. Because everyone else had been captured. And so like I was behind you, and somebody else in front of me got hit, and it was like, hit 5, and then they fell to the ground, they went to bleed out, and I was like, oh, that hit would have killed me. I'm just going to shin kick.
Yeah, like literally, like they do have some pretty heavy hitters because when you get into the game, you naturally only have 5 hit points. I have 6 because I took like a skill that gave me an extra one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was during the prophetic dreaming thing, because like in this game there's a lot of dream magic, and like there's people who have like prophetic dreams, and she's one of them. So we got her mixed up in some crazy dream magic. Our friend Jessie, who plays Asia, who's one of my Oathbound Offendal, is also a prophetic dreamer. And she got mixed up in it too, and she like went berserk at one point, and she attacked me, and she hit me for 222, and that drops me because I'm like, I have 6 hit points, you just hit me with 3 2 hits, and I like went down, and I also had a break leg as well, so I had my leg broken, and like, thank God, like, our friend Ian Fenbros saw me go down because I don't know how many healers there were. Otherwise, he like picked me up off the ground. He's like, "We're going, come on, Varka," and I was like, "Shit, okay." That was a really cool battle too. Like,
because by the end of it, like Fenbros would come to me and be like, "Leola, are you hurt? Do you need healing?" I'm like, "No," and then another fight would happen.
Yeah, everyone was like, "You didn't get hit at all." What
every
the hell?
time, like by the third time he asked me, and I was like, "No, I'm fine." He's like, "How are you not getting hit?" And I was like, "I ran away."
But you did good that you threw spells. Like, like she has magic where she can imbue weapons with different elemental powers, which is really, really awesome. So like she was able to like get my arrows to be like ice damage when we were fighting like a fire like demon, like really very useful magic. And we were able to get a little bit of like we got a buff this game that lasts for a year, so we can do a little extra damage, which is nice. Toshi is licking my legs so much.
That's my son
under here, just so you know.
My son.
Just beautiful son. But yeah, it was overall the weekend was awesome. Like, I highly encourage anyone to try LARP if you guys are interested. If you want to like really enter like the final ring of like nerd hell.
Of nerd hell, the 7th ring of nerd.
No, like literally, it's so funny because like when someone was like, "You want to play D&D? You want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" I was like, I'm never gonna play That's for real nerds, like real nerds. And then I started playing. I was like, "Fuck, this is really
so much fun.
This is so much fun."
I will say that it's going to be hard going back to D&D now that we play LARP, because it's just like in D&D you have to wait for your turn, you have to just roll, and it's
this is like action.
You're immersed in it. You are literally in that world where like, I don't know about you, but by the end of it we packed up our camp and Fee and I got back into the car, like even touching my car felt weird, like almost like, what is this? This feels so strange. And by the time like we, 2-hour drive home, we got out of the car, it was like the gravity was so heavy, and I just felt like, where am I?
Honest to God, I get like really severe like post-LARP depression for like a full day afterwards, because like I literally go into this state, and like I was talking to our friend Lauren about it. I was like, I go into the state of like, fuck, I miss like Asia, and I miss like Leola, and I miss Fenbros, and I miss Pippin, and I miss Vin, like Vin is a very soft, squishy character, so I have to like really protect her, and like I miss Varka, like I miss her. And
here's the other thing that is weird for me, like I miss you, but then I also miss Varka.
Yeah.
Like even though you're here, I still miss Varka, and that's like a really weird.
And well, that's what I was trying to like explain to you before we went too. I was like, you make a connection with like your best friends that like you didn't know you could make. Like my friend Jamie, who plays Moira, Janie's been one of my best friends for many years, but like then I met her as Moira, and it's like like she's a human, but like Varka trusts Moira because we've been able to bond in that manner in a different way, and like I miss Moira. Like I like get to hang out with Jamie, but I'm like, oh,
Moira's cool.
Moira's so cool.
Yeah.
And I miss like the banter that we have as like Varka and Moira. So it's like you have this like weird depression afterwards, and what helps is the fact that like our game has a great Facebook group where everyone like will do like a post game like check in, and like you're like, hey, like I played Leola this weekend, or hey, I played Varka this weekend. Here are my favorite moments. Here's some shout outs to like some of my best bros. Thank you guys so much. We had such a great time.
And then you can even like post on their post and like be like, oh, my character met you here, or my character like thought this of you, and like, can we talk about Theodore, Sir Theodore?
We met a character named Theo this weekend. So pure and sweet. He made flower crowns for everyone. one.
Theodore is, he was like one of the first humans that I met when I came back to life.
I'm so happy. He was one of the first people you met.
He's like a knight, but he's also like this like squishy, so soft, pure,
He's got
rosy
big,
cheek boy.
giant round glasses.
He's like huge, like looks so soft and so sweet. And he talks with an accent like this, and he like greets me. He's like, "Hello, are you the newly arrived? How can I help you?"
He has a bad memory too, so he'll forget that he talked to you, and he'll be like, "Hello," and you're like,
"Did we mention he has like a full suit of silver armor? Full armor. But like the sweetest little cute
Sweet
baby
cinnamon
face, sweet cinnamon, big glasses.
Oh, I love him so much. He was so sweet. He was so sweet.
He's such a soft boy. So like for my character, that was big development. Like he's a human, but I don't hate him. In fact, I think I adore him.
So good. Like such good pure characters in this game. Like honestly, like we are so lucky to have such like a wonderful group of people to play with. And this was the largest group of new players we've had. There was 40 new players this game, and like that is insane. Like this LARP is like growing exponentially, and it's like it's wonderful because like we want everyone to share it, and it's so great because like the two creators like and owners of the game, John and Angela, they are wonderful humans, and they are so passionate about people having a good time at Twin Mask. And like you talk to them, they're like, "Oh my god, there are so many new people. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god."
So I was really nervous before LARP, where like I spent a whole week like reading through the 200-page rule book and like researching and trying to like, I even invited John and Angela out to, like I took them out to dinner and like spent 2 hours just asking them questions, talking about the lore of the story, like,
and they're so helpful.
They're so helpful, and they like, at first they were like a little shy around me, and then I think the more they saw that I was genuinely so excited and so like anxious to start, they were like, got more comfortable and started telling me like war stories that happened 9 years ago, you know?
Yeah. It's honestly like a really magical like thing that people share together, and it's like I can't like imagine missing one.
I know, dude.
Now
I went through my planner and I marked out every single one where it happens. Like I'm just like these are the dates I know I cannot miss no matter what.
Yeah, it's honestly like you look forward to it. Like it's like I can't wait to go back and like see my friends, but like I see them, but I'm gonna see my other friends, but they're the same people. It's like a really interesting like juxtaposition, like reality versus fantasy. And like I don't know about you, or I don't know about you guys, like anything, but I used to like growing up, I played pretend all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, and I honestly still kind of do, and I think that's why like I love like self-insert fanfic.
Me too.
Like shit like that. It's like it makes me feel like I'm playing pretend, and like sometimes like I'll even be in the car and like I'll be like making like a Star Wars OC in my head, and I'll be like talking to myself like as my OC and like whatever, like, and like I know it sounds crazy, but like I never really thought that I would have an outlet to actually like fully be able to express that part of myself as like playing pretend, and it's being taken seriously by like 200 other people.
Yes.
Are taking it just as seriously as me. So it's
That's exactly it, dude. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I was so into fantasy and playing pretend and stuff like that and creating, like, characters. And you guys know I'm a fanfic weeb. So it's like, you're literally there. And you live it and you breathe it and you... We gotta talk about Chef!
Oh, and then there's Chef.
So
he makes all our food.
You might be asking, how do you eat during the weekend? Well, there is
LARP Chef.
There's LARP Chef. He's actually our chef and makes our food, but he LARPs as Chef.
Yeah, he's really great. Him and his wife both like provide all like the catering and everything, and they're great. And like I remember my first game, like someone attacked Chef, and I think Chef went into bleed out, and everyone was like, "Don't mess with Chef!" Like
protect Chef.
Like there's always a few moments in game where like a really beloved character gets attacked, and everyone gets like super aggro. Like King Shakes this time.
Not Shakes.
Shakes is a beloved character in Twin Mask.
Only talks like with whistles and snapping and making
and
sound
like
effects.
Yeah, like miming like, and stuff.
All onomatopoeia, does not speak.
So great. And he got turned against us in a battle, and everyone was like, "No!"
But did you hear when he was his evil version? He spoke.
Really?
Yes. You didn't hear him?
No.
Yeah, the evil version of Shakes like actually spoke and had this really dark voice.
Okay, that's like...
Yeah.
What? That's like kind of crazy for me to hear, especially because Varka has no knowledge of that, but Lindsay has knowledge of that, so I'm like,
Leola saw that and Leo was like,
uh-oh.
Oh, fuck. I was like, gonna cast a spell on him, and I was like, shakes. I can't do it.
I can't do it. Like, seriously, it was like, that battle was tough because like we had to fight our friends, and like I talked to Ian afterwards, and he was just like, that moment of like me and you like seeing Vin come back to us, and like, or like the moment when she disappeared, and like he's like, the moment I told Varka that like Vin had disappeared, like I saw like real horror on your face, and it was like literally holding me back from doing something stupid, kind of. Like, he was like, that was like a really good bonding moment for us, like for our characters, and like our friend Jessie Azia had to literally take Finn down, like, and that's like our sister, and like having to like kill her, like I had to shoot Moira, and I was like, no.
Fee Pippin, her character was taken too.
Oh god, she was taken. That was a tough one.
You were the one who had to tell me. Where was I? I came back to. I was in camp, and I had like been sleeping, and then I made my way back into battle, and I was like, "What's going on?" And you were like, "They took Pippin," and I was like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Who
that
took?
was
Like,
a tough
what happened?" And then like literally, you told me that like as the sun was setting, and we were like going through these battles, and we didn't know where she was. We didn't even know she was alive. And by this time the sun had gone down, we like saw her, and we saw Vin like as this like brainwashed army like coming toward us, and we were like, "Dude, what do we do?"
Yeah, that was rough, and I can't remember who took Pippin down. It might have been.
I think Fenrose did it.
I think it was Ian and Jessie ended up taking her down. Jessie definitely attacked her a few times, but Jessie was like, uh-oh, because Jessie her character has a skill called witty repartee, and she basically has to make like a witty comment before attacking someone.
Oh my god.
In order to like get a buff on damage. And she literally said that before she attacked Fee. She goes, it's for your own good. And started attacking her. So, but yeah, I mean, God, it was a great weekend. I can't wait. August is our next one. It's like so far away. I know, and I think I'm only gonna be able to play a partial weekend too.
What? No, why?
Because I'm filming.
No, Lindsay.
Yeah, I'm actually working on an indie film. I'm costume designing an indie film coming up, and like I think we're filming on Friday. So if I don't get off in time, then I'll have to come in Saturday morning.
Is this the one when you're missing Korea for?
Yeah.
So I got invited to like go out to Korea for a week with like I could bring someone, and my first option, of course, is Lindsay, because Lindsay invited me to Japan. Lindsay can't go.
Career life. I gotta get the IMDb credit, guys. God. Oh, and just for the record, Fee and I, multiple times during the weekend, Hot Topic. Because we both wear all black.
Hot Topic.
We were like, Hot Topic. We were definitely the edgelords of the game.
edgelords.
Yeah. It was awesome. I'm so happy I was able to bring you guys in. And
dude,
like,
it was
I was like so worried. I was like, what if they fucking hate this?
I struggled the first night. Where like the first night, I literally didn't know if I wanted to come back. I didn't like it. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't know who to interact with.
I felt the same way in my first night.
And then the second day, I was like, I wish I lived in this world. Like I never want to leave.
Lauren always makes the joke that she's like, my LARP life is better than my real life.
Kinda.
And I'm like, man, I really wish I was a cool assassin.
It's also like there's so much more that happens in that world. Like things like in your real life, like big events happen maybe like once a year, maybe a couple months, maybe once every 5 years. Like in LARP, like dramatic things are happening to you personally, like every hour on the hour. Yeah. And like depending on like what path you choose to follow or like what story you find will bring you to a different place.
It's so cool. LARP life, man.
Well,
now we gotta figure out like what to make for improvements for weapons and costumes for next time. Maybe we'll do a LARP costume prep.
I think we should.
Day.
I do have an idea of what I want to make for next time.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good idea.
I'm excited.
Oh, also, Kenran said that he would take me on as his apprentice.
Yeah. Are you serious? Oh, he's like one of the top mages. That's a big fucking deal. Damn. Ooh, yay. That's really awesome, actually. Wow. I'm very excited for you. He's also a super sweet dude, so that's awesome. Yay! Magic.
So I guess that's all we have to talk about now. And I'm going to make a separate video with Fee because Fee has a lot of other experiences.
Very different experience. Like, she did a lot of things on her own, especially, like, from the place that she's from was just called Castle Thorn. She found some like other buds from Castle Thorn. They were able to like kind of like, you know, shoot the shit and like share war stories, and like she had a very different experience than us, and she was able to go on that mod when we were fighting them as like clones. Like they had previously gone on like a different mod as their actual characters, like in this like ancient tomb. So she has a whole different experience of that night, like completely different, which is kind of awesome. So
more LARP stuff to come. Oh, and just so you guys know, we're not allowed to like film in there. Like we can't even bring our cell phones or our watches into this world because it has to be fully immersive. But I might talk to John and Angela because they do have photographers on site, like being assassin and taking photos. I might ask if they might want to like film just like little clips of us, and then maybe we can add that into the next vlog or something like that.
Yeah, and we'll share some, like, we're gonna be starting to get like actual photos of like all the combat that we were in and everything soon. So like I'll probably share a bunch like on Instagram like I did last time. Like they actually end up getting like a bunch of really cool shots. Like I've always like enjoyed like all the pictures like I've gotten back. They're really cool. So yeah.
Exciting. All right. Well, if you guys have any questions about the LARP, go ahead and comment below. Lindsay and I will be in the comments patrolling and answering questions and stuff like that, or carrying it over into the next LARP discussion. Until then. Oh, wait. Before I say until then, see you next time. Lindsay's handle is going to be down below if you want to follow her on Instagram. And what else you got? Anything else? Twitter? You want to be followed on Twitter?
I got a good Twitter.
Yeah, she's got
a pretty solid Twitter feed.
It's pretty...
I got a lot of anime memes up in there, so if you're into that, idols and anime memes,
that's available to you.
I'm your girl.
Okay, now we can say it. Until next time, bye!
Bye!